I like New York's ranked choice voting. I'm happy. I'm tickled pink. I'm tickled pink. I'm tickled to death that you have New York City actually adopted ranked choice elections. You had Maine, and you got like this little city and that city over here, St. Paul, and the Oscars. But essentially most people are like, what? Rank our candidates like 1, 2, and 3? I don't understand it. I don't understand it. It makes no sense. It's actually genius. It gets rid of the spoiler effect. It makes our presidential, winner-take-all elections actually fair. And so instead of turning our whole system into a parliamentary system so we could have a fair system, I think keeping our presidential elections only adding instant runoff voting, but you got to do it right. You got to do it right. So I like that New York City in 2019 had a referendum. The people said, let's get ourselves some ranked choice voting, and they got it. Now I got a problem with, I'm happy that they got ranked choice voting, but they didn't get the best. They didn't do the best ranked choice voting system that's out there. They didn't do the ranked elections of masters. They didn't do my model. So the problem with New York City, besides all the damn urine, David Letterman, I don't know if... The problem with New York City's instant runoff voting, the problem with the ranked elections for New York City, is that they're asking New York City to pick the top 5 out of 12 candidates. So you have 8.5 million people that live in New York City. So you're telling me out of 8.5 million people, only 12 people wanted to run for mayor? How did they even get those 12 people? We'll set that question off to the side. But we got 12 candidates. Okay, we could probably just do majority takes all with 12 candidates and pick the, 1 or 2 or 3, right? Pick the top 3. But they're asking New Yorkers to pick the top 5. You just had Michael Costa, who is right. He is just as powerful as any of these other candidates because he's got name recognition, right? He's got star power. He's a celebrity. He's unlike, there's 12 candidates, so you got Andrew Yang and not Michael Costa. And, 11 essentially unknown people to the rest of the world. I don't know how popular they are in New York City. But I've never heard of these other candidates. So you're not just asking New York City, they're only going to get one mayor, but you're not just asking them to pick one mayor, you're asking them to look at the 12 candidates, for them to do their research, and for them to rank their choice 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. And then for them to understand ranked choice voting to where they understand the strategy enough to where they feel confident in what they're actually... There's a big problem because if there are 50 candidates, top 5 makes sense. If there's 50 candidates, yeah, top 5. But if 12, maybe top 3. Top 2, top 3, not top 4, top 5. They're going to make New Yorkers pick 5 candidates. And if they don't understand you, the simplest thing is, if you don't like the person, don't vote for them. So if you only like 2 candidates, vote for number 1, vote for number 2, and then leave the other 3 blank. That's the easiest one. If you don't like it, but I feel like some people might feel obligated to go ahead, and then other people might. Okay, so, yeah, that's the problem with New York City's ranked choice voting is they want New York Yorkers to find 5 winners. You got to approve of 5 people out of the 12. Well, what if these 12 candidates, there's only 1 or 2 that's decent, that's worth a shit, and the other 10 or 11 are just, worthless scraps of frog shit with the emotional intelligence of dog shit. There's not 5 to pick from. You don't have 5 mayors out of the 12. Oh, you got 12 whole people that, some fucking council behind closed doors picked. Did they get signatures? Anyways, we're moving past that for a second. And so just focus on top 5, 12 candidates. So if you pick only 1 or 2 and then your candidate is eliminated, then your vote gets redistributed right into the trash can. If there's not 5 good candidates to pick from, you're obligated to only pick 1 or 2. You have to do it like that, and so there might be a problem with that. What New York City's ranked elections will do what it's guaranteed to do is it will generate a majority victor. You're picking out of 12, you're picking 5, so at least there's going to be a 5 rounds of elimination. And so that's almost impossible to imagine a scenario where that wouldn't work out. So I think that on Election Day, June 22nd, on the primary, New Yorkers are going to go vote. And then on that night, instant runoff voting, that night, we will have several, maybe, runoff elections, if necessary, if there isn't one, if one person doesn't take it all, on election night, then you'll go through the whole runoff election, the algorithm and all the numbers, and you will have a mayor that night. And so that's better than runoff elections where you have to come back a month or two later and have a whole nother election on top of. So, yeah, there you go. On June 22nd, New York City will have a majority victor. There will be, the Democratic Party will have chosen their, person. And I'm happy that New York City has got ranked choice voting. I just wish it was so much better. My general, the ranked election of masters, the way that I would want the ranked choice voting to go down, because I was trying to think, if there's 100 candidates, is there a way you could try to, and I'm not for sure of that, but I think top 5 and 50 candidates and top 3 from a pool of 20 candidates, and this is just my mathematical intuition. I'm sure we need to do some, but out of a pool of 50 candidates, you do a top 5, out of a pool of 20 candidates, and down you do top 3, so 21 on up to 50. Top 5, 20 on down, top 3. Major part of my ranked elections is that for round 1, all the candidates who don't get 5% are just immediately wiped away. Their votes are redistributed, and this should eliminate a bunch. If you had 100 candidates, that's what, almost 5 are guaranteed, right, to not make the 5% threshold. And I think it'd be a whole bunch more. If there was 100, you probably could get rid of 50 of the candidates because they didn't even make 5%. You want to be mayor of the whole city and you couldn't even get 5% of the people to vote for you? You've got to. You got to do better than 5% if you're under 5%. If you make 5%, then you're good. That would be round number 1. Round number 1, get rid of all the small fries. Kind of just clean up the, the bottom. Just kind of get rid of all that small shit. And then once you have that, get rid of the 5%, I think that then just go along as planned. Top 5 means there's 5 rounds. Get rid of the bottom. Have their votes redistributed to, their next, whoever they ranked next. And then do that 5 times, or do that, keep doing that, do that, tally the numbers, see if there's a majority victor. If not, then go to, round 1, round 2, round 3. There should be, for top 5, 6 rounds, right? So the 5%, and then for top 3, there should be 4 rounds. Get rid of the 5%, and then if you pick top 3, then you should only have 3 times that you eliminate the bottom candidate, because that's only 3 runoff elections, right? It's supposed to be a instant runoff election, and if you voted top 3, what you're hypothetically doing, if you say, okay, this is my number 1 candidate, I want, Andrew Yang, and then he loses. So then it goes straight to your second candidate, and then this is the one, well, then they lose, and you just keep picking the losers. And then eventually your 5th choice is the winner, because that was the one, nobody really loved them, and they didn't think they was great, but everybody said, you know what, yeah, they would be a good mayor. They approved of them. And so that's another major victory for instant runoff voting, is that the support for instant runoff voting is deep, far, and wide. So it's broad-based, it's pervasive, right? Nomad Land, that's what won. I guess we'll have to go see what Nomad Land is about, but that Fred Hampton movie, anybody else see that Fred Hampton movie that came? I haven't seen it, but, it's Fred Hampton, so I can't see it. They did it. I've seen clips. What was I saying? And then that's what I would do. Top 5 for 50. Top 5 for 50. And, you know, I could easily see a scenario where that doesn't, you know, find the one person, and we might have to do another runoff. But I think that adds to the excitement, and that's, you know, like I said, this is my model. And actually, it could go to 3. We might have to have election in November, election in December, and an election in January. But if you have 100 candidates, you tell me a better, you know, how you would do it better. But if you got 100 candidates, it's got to be fair, right? It's got to be fair for all 100. And so that's a slim possibility. Top 3 of 20, that seems like that would pretty much be fine, you know, get rid of the 5%, you know, like I said, with the first round, and then the next 3 rounds, you take the last place candidate, right? The whole thing is you take the last place candidate, knock them out, redistribute their votes to the next candidate that they ranked on their list, redistribute the votes as if there was another instant runoff election, a runoff election that happened instantaneous, right? You didn't have to show back up in a month. So I just want to make sure the top 3, if you vote in New York, there's a top 5, so that means, I don't know if they have that get rid of the 5% threshold, but they can only have 5 rounds, so you can't have any more than that, and you can have less, but you can't have any more than that because they're only doing top 5, so just, you know. With mine, there's a tiny possibility of 3rd round of elections, but, and then if there's only, I mean, top 3 of 20, so I can only imagine a couple things. If there's 2 candidates, then just whoever wins between them 2. If there's 3 candidates or more, then 3 candidates or more, then you have to use top 3, right? Or top 2. You could just do top 2. I think that's fine, right? Top 5, top 3, top 2. So, yeah, 2 or 3 with the 12. Top 5, it's too much. I think you're asking too much for New Yorkers, but you are guaranteed to have, you know, a mayor. So you're guaranteed, it's guaranteed to work. Like, somebody be chosen. And to me, majority is 50% plus 1, so as soon as it goes over the 50% mark, and also I'm not sure that the best way to find the original, you know, 20 to 50 candidates. So my model, it works for 50 candidates. But California governor's race, they have 2 ways to get on the ballot to become governor, and the 2 ways are to get $4,000, pay him $4,000 and get 65 signatures, or get 7,000 signatures and you pay no fee. And I kind of like those standards. That seems, if you got some money, you know, you still got to go get 65 signatures. You know, you fucking rich elitist fuck. You got to find 65 people that support you. But if you're poor as fuck, you know, well, you know, you got to go get them signatures. It's $1 signature, so in a way I almost feel like it should be more expensive. It should be like $10,000 and 65 signatures or 7,000 signatures, because that's way harder. That means a signature is actually less than $1. People are getting like $3 or $4 a signature, and especially out in California, hell, they might be getting like $5 or $10 a signature now. I don't know. But there you go. Top 5 out of 12. Top 5 out of 12. All right, here's the 12 people. Now pick your mayor. Okay, I want that one. Nope. No, pick a different one. All right. I want that one. Nope. No, that one's. No, that's. You keep the last. Pick a good. Okay, that. Nope. That one. Nope. Fine. This one. Shit. There you go, Mayor. Welcome aboard, Mayor Sean Donovan. So I'll just mention this, the way I'm looking at New York City's elections. I got 3 people I like, and Yang, I like his UBI. I don't know if he's talking about UBI for New York City or not, but you got Maya Wiley, Diane Morales, and Ray McGuire in terms of temperament. I like him. I really like Diane Morales a lot, and Ray McGuire. I like both of these candidates a lot. Maya Wiley, I like her, but she's a little arrogant. I don't like the way she talks. I don't like the way she talks sometimes. But Diane Morales and Ray McGuire, so check out those 2. Diane Morales and Ray McGuire. And, yeah, I'm going to talk about what they said about Israel's comments. I want to say, somebody talked about apartheid. Somebody said Israel, Palestine is apartheid. That's the person I want to be mayor, not fucking Yang, Sarah Palin, you know, Ted Cruz, fucking Yang, you know, who else? Meghan McCain. I don't know, Yang, if you got fair is fair, right is right. Anyways, so those are my problems with New York City's ranked choice election.